Yo,
No.
welcome to the Broke Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Chach. This is my co-host.
Alton, aka AC, right? We still working on that?
No, we're gonna do a poll if we should call this man AC. I think we should just leave it the way it is, man. Alton.
I like AC better. Everyone calls me AC.
No one calls you AC.
They call me that.
No one ever called you, except for that time when you had that brief rapping career.
Yeah, see? So now you're acknowledging my rapping career.
We're not gonna get into that. Yo, welcome to episode 5, part 2. We had some technical difficulties where the episode just didn't get saved, man, in the audio. My computer didn't save it, something happened, and that's, it is what it is.
Yeah, happens sometimes, but we keep pushing forward. Podcast keeps on churning.
You know what I'm saying? Part 2. It's been about 2 weeks, man, since we recorded that last episode.
Yeah.
Because shit got real, man.
Shit definitely got real, man. It's super real.
Listen, man, real quick, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we really out here being broke entrepreneurs. And I feel like we talked about this in past episodes where people are like, I want to be an entrepreneur, and they're just like doing stuff like, nah, man, we really out here. And
really is life or death situations out here.
For real, man. So it was rough last week. I didn't have time. Al didn't have time to record last week episode. But we back.
You back?
We back, man.
Back like we never left.
I feel good.
I feel great.
Yeah, man. That's cool. So what we talking about, man?
So we're gonna pick up where we left off on the last episode. Was basically you were looking to take a risk, right? Taking a risk on putting more money behind what you do, even though because you've proven to make it work.
Yeah. That's where I was at. I was feeling like I couldn't really spend like the extra money, even though I could have put it on my credit card. I was just feeling like I don't really want to mess with my credit because I've been there before. I've been in the debt game, and like I crawled out of that, and now I'm trying to shoot up to that 800. So I'm like super, I don't know, I'm nervous, man, about getting back into debt.
I hear you.
And I probably should take that risk. I didn't have any liquid cash.
Which I don't mean to interrupt you, but I kind of do.
Yeah.
So that kind of brings me to the next situation that happened.
Go ahead and stop me, man.
Immediately after that happened, you had to go out and bust your ass because your client wasn't able to pay you.
Yes.
Or you weren't able to get payment from your client. Can you touch on that?
Yeah, man. So I think we talked a little bit about it in episode 1, where my client was dealing with some personal issues, so he wasn't necessarily taking any calls or doing much business, and I couldn't get paid.
Yeah.
And basically that client alone pays for my rent.
So that has a huge effect on your personal life and your business life then.
Yeah, man, because I live in Orange County.
Yeah.
You know how it is, man. My rent is like people's mortgage out here. If I didn't have a wife and she paid half of that, I don't know what we'd do. So yeah, man, I definitely affected my personal life. And I had to hustle. But, blessings on blessings. That client, I contacted that client last week. And we was able to work out a deal, and I got paid, man.
You got paid.
I got paid for rent.
That's what's up.
So, that really worked out. But I didn't give up. So I was out there hustling. And now when I put myself in like this like hustling mindset, me, I already get about 4:30 a.m., 5 o'clock a.m. I try to shoot for 4:30 every day. I don't have to, but I gotta get shit done.
You have to.
And like as an entrepreneur, like there's nobody telling you that you have to be at work at a certain time. So you have to have that discipline. I've been building this type of discipline for a couple of years now, where I get up at 4, sometimes I get up at 4 o'clock, man. I get up at 4 o'clock and I get to work, and I do whatever I got to do to make money that day. Yeah. So I'm still in that mindset. So I'm this week, like I'm not as broke as I was last week. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually ahead, but I'm still got that hustle mentality. I'm going to go to work after this podcast.
As you should.
Yeah, man. I've already been working today. I've had a couple meetings today. I got a lead from Shaper. Remember that app we talked about?
Yeah, Shaper. Shout out to Shaper.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've been working, man. I've been doing it. So yeah, man. It gets rough, man. We might miss a couple episodes.
it's real in these
That's
streets.
what we're really trying to say. We might miss a couple episodes, man. It's falling hard time, but hopefully, man, I feel really good about this month. This is February, Black History Month.
Yes.
We're both black.
Yeah.
You know what? Shout outs to that.
Yeah, shout out to being black.
You know what I'm saying? Actually, check this out, man. I feel really good about this month. You want to know why?
Why? Why do you feel good about this month?
I feel really good about this month.
Okay.
You want to know why?
Yeah, we already said that. So.
Okay, man. It's because, first of all, it's our birthdays in this month, man. True. It's our birthday.
Your birthday is tomorrow.
My birthday is tomorrow. My wife, she's planning something. She's sneaky. I know when she's up to something, right? But I'm not a big birthday guy. I just don't go to work. That's all I care for. You know, I don't go to work for my birthday. I've been calling off sick for the last 13 years. Except for now, I work for myself, so I just call myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that usually work?
I just I got a Google number.
Got you.
So I just call that number, which goes to my phone. Yeah. You know, from a different phone.
Yes.
And I let him know he ain't coming in.
Not coming
today.
in.
He ain't coming in.
Got you.
So I'm gonna have to do that tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I feel good about this month. We got some digital programs coming out.
Yeah, that we do.
You know, with all that said, man, this basically goes back to resilience, man, what you were talking about last episode. Something that wasn't on the list of the article we were reading off on part 1, which was the Inc. article. 10 essential characteristics of highly successful entrepreneurs. And resilience wasn't on the list.
It wasn't?
Nah. Wasn't on the list, man. But that's something that we both had.
I can definitely speak on that.
Yeah, man.
You want me to touch on that a little bit?
I think you should touch on that.
So, I've definitely had to deal with some resiliency. Like Chach was saying, we both had some really crazy weeks last week, you know, with this entrepreneurship life.
What happened with you?
I had 2 clients that agreed to deals verbally and agreed to close the deals. And we had to set a date to basically get everything, you know, signed and paid for. Mm-hmm. And they ghosted me.
Why'd they do that?
I don't know. Just stop responding.
That happens a lot.
It does. I mean, but it just happened at a very bad time.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, cool. I'm expecting this to come in. I even made good deals with them. I'm like, yo, I can do this for you for $3,000 flat. And I usually charge a retainer, you know, because I need to make sure it's at least 3 months, you know, $3,000 a month. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know, I'll do it for you for $3,000 flat, set it up, and I'll just take a small piece of commission off of it, like to get you all ready to go. Everything was good. It was golden. And next thing you know, it's time to close the deal. And, you know, chirping, crickets.
Dang.
So I'm like, man, I'm expecting to have, you know, $6,000 deposited into my account.
I'm sorry, man.
And
that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So I just had to go back to the drawing board and, you know, rethink my strategy. And I ended up having a meeting with my mentor. And I think I don't know if I've ever mentioned my mentor. I won't mention him by name. But he's a former, you know, executive director of the World Cup. He's won the Olympics. He's run part of the Atlanta Falcons. Like, he's a really big deal in the sports space.
Sounds like a millionaire.
Pretty sure he is. Yeah, definitely a millionaire.
Can you be my mentor?
Yes. We'll make an introduction one day.
I don't feel too confident.
I'll make an introduction next time I meet him.
Yeah, man.
So talk to him, and it's kind of like, you know, you're talking to your mentor and you know you're doing something that's dumb.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he says it out loud, you realize just how dumb it is. And he was like, what kind of strategy is that? Like, why did you even try that? Like,
you need that.
That doesn't work. And I was like, I knew that didn't work, but I wanted to try it anyway because a lot of people are doing it. The multiple touch points on a client is like
that, what I'm doing.
Yeah. It's like, that doesn't work. He's like, there's a high likelihood that people are going to take all these touch points, get information out of you, and then leave. And so I immediately shut that down. He's like, stop that. He's like, he's like, it's okay to get that first touch point, but as soon as you get that first touch point, send them your application. And so that's what I've been doing. It's like, hey, get on a phone call with them. Hey, it's cool. It's great. Here's my application. Fill it out. And now I have a meeting set up on Friday with a guy who's already filled out my application.
Look at
so I know
him.
he's more serious.
Give it to me, man.
He's going back to the old school. It's like, you don't need these, multiple touch points. And if there is, it's like the first one is to make them fill out your application. The second one was like, all right, cool. They're really serious because they have to give me a lot of information.
That's actually really smart.
Yeah.
And it cuts down a lot of time because I do a 10-minute, lately I've been doing a 15-minute call. Just to kind of qualify, leads, and then I'll move them over to a 60-minute call or I'll close the deal. But yeah, that's me giving up 60 minutes of my time, right? And I might not close the deal, right? But yeah, send them the application. That's a really, really smart move, man. Because if they're willing to do the application, right, then chances are they probably want to sign, right? And if not, at least they're better qualified.
Yeah.
And by the time they get to that point, maybe you can ask them.
No, I mean,
what's wrong with the funnel?
Nobody has 100% closure rate, right? Mm-hmm. So I would say my closure rate tends to sit around 20%, sometimes 30%.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's good, right? 1 out of every 5 people I actually have a long conversation with signs up for me. So that's good.
That's pretty good, man.
And so it fits in perfectly with my funnel. So if I can, as long as I get on the phone with them for an hour, then there's a 20% chance I'm going to close them.
Yeah. But now you're moving over to, you're being at number 9 on the article, man. You're being adventurous. You about to start doing webinars.
I am.
That's big, man. Like to get up there, to do live webinars.
Yeah.
I think to do live stream, in general, man, because like a lot of people talk shit. You know,
of course.
People make fun of you, right? Like, what is this guy doing? What is she doing? What do they know?
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, man, you increase conversions so much when you do those type of live things and webinars.
They see you're a real person.
You're a real person, man. And like, that's what's up, man. I'm gonna be on that webinar.
Yeah, you definitely gotta join.
I'm gonna jump on that. You're being resourceful, man. Number 8. Did we talk about my strengths and weaknesses? We did. Okay, man. Check that out. Go back and check out episode 5, part 1, man. If you're listening to this episode, and you didn't listen to that one, none of this will make any sense if you didn't listen to that episode.
It's true. It's real life.
You gotta go and do that, man. So we'll be talking. What else are we talking about today, man?
Today, I guess we're mostly just kind of just letting people know that we really are in this. Like, this is really a broke entrepreneur podcast.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've had to deal with my issues last week. You had to deal with your issues last week. I have a call tomorrow at 8:00 in the morning for an hour. That I'm actually going to try to close this deal.
Hey. Okay.
Excited about that.
I hope that works out.
Yeah. Also dealing with some personal financial issues, which I'm not used to having.
What happened with you, man? I know we briefly talked about, like the beginning of the year expenses. I'm sorry. I got hit with the beginning of the year expense that I completely forgot about. It was like $600 for the software, that I barely even used last year, and I got hit with that. I couldn't afford it, man. I had to call them and let them know, like, I need to cancel, and I need that money back.
Yeah.
And they're good, man. They're good. They canceled, call it back, but you forget that you pay for those annual, like, subscriptions. So anyone listening, the entrepreneurs out there, man, I would set a notification for your annual subscriptions or your software because, if you get hit at the beginning of the year, $2,000, $3,000 on software costs or membership costs, man, that's going to hurt when you don't have the money in the bank, man.
That's exactly what I'm dealing with right now. I got hit with about $1,000 worth of annual costs that I completely forgot that I had set up because I was so used to having more money that if it would have hit, when I was still making good money, I probably wouldn't even noticed it.
Yeah.
But when you don't have that much money and it's like, boom, $1,000 gone, you're like, shit, like, what am I going to do? And I can't just cancel it. It's actually stuff that I need. So I have to let it go through and then just figure out other ways to get around it. Just get out there and hustle.
So you out there hustling?
I'm out there hustling.
Are you going to make it?
I don't have a choice.
I feel like, man, you're the type of guy that pulls it off in the fourth quarter.
I usually do.
Like, you kind of just, drag your feet, it's probably because, your parents told you you're smart growing up. You know what I'm saying? So you just kind of, man, you just do enough just to get by. And then when it's time to really get in the game, man, you pull off, your joggers, and then you get out there.
Something like that.
Yeah, man. But listen, man, I feel like we're in that way, like we're a little bit different, man. All I know is hustle, right? It's just because I didn't have like all of the gifts that you have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All I have is the hustle, and then you have all the gifts, and you hustle when it's time to hustle. You know what I'm saying? We just need to combine. We need to just super saiyan this shit.
Yeah, I feel like just closer, man. It's like you.
Yeah, man.
It's like you don't really care what the Golden State Warriors this year or last year or the year before last do during the regular season. Mm-hmm. It's like they got the best record, they could have the third, fourth best record. They're still going to be the best team when the playoffs start.
Mm-hmm.
You still know they're going to be in the finals.
So you're the best team in the playoffs.
That's just how I've always performed. I perform better when my back is against the wall.
Dang, can you imagine if you perform like that, like all season long?
I would already be a billionaire.
Even in preseason?
Yeah.
Like, I honestly feel like that's how you're going to make it. If you perform at that level.
Yeah. That's what I'm working on right now. It's a work in progress.
You're getting there.
Getting there.
Okay, man. That's what's up, man. I'm trying to get to, I'm just trying to read some shit, take more courses, man. I'm trying to expand my mind so I can get somewhat on your level and then combine that with my hustle and then take off, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where my level's at. I mean, I'm classically trained. I'm trying to get more hands-on practical skills, even more than I have now.
Okay.
I said, look at my mentor, right? He's got all his experiences hands-on, like building businesses, building companies, selling companies, acquiring companies. It's like that's where you learn the most, and like that's what I'm trying to get myself to be. Just like more practical.
You probably develop a lot of characteristics through that journey, and already had some, man. I'm looking at the list right now. So yeah, man. Things are moving along. This is gonna be a short episode since it's part 2.
Yeah, just wrapping up last week's episode.
So like, do you feel like as an entrepreneur are there like main characteristics that you need to have, like, to get through the things, like, for like how we got through the stuff that we got through, like we had resiliency, we had like, optimistic ones in there, being optimistic, we're passionate about our goals, we're motivated, so like all those different characteristics, played to our strengths, and we were able to pull some shit off.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think that an entrepreneur needs like certain ones, or it's just like you just have to have what you have, or try to develop a skill? What I'm trying to say is like, do you need like certain characteristics? Do you need like 3? Like you have to have these 3 to be an entrepreneur, business owner, to pull this shit off?
I would say, I'm not sure if they're on the list or not, but I would say
I finally got that out.
As an entrepreneur, you have to be driven and motivated. So that is for sure on the list.
Okay. I see that.
You need to be passionate about whatever it is you're doing, which is also on the list.
That's on the list, yeah.
And then you also have to take calculated risks.
Okay.
So calculated risks, I don't believe is on the list. But if you don't take those calculated risks, you're never going to go anywhere. Like, you're going to be that person who, gets a business slowly built over time, which is not a bad thing. But it's going to take a really long time to grow. Versus taking a calculated risk, you're like, okay, I've proven this on this small scale, say on a $1,000, $10,000 basis. I've proven I've been able to do this on this level. Let me, take out a loan or credit or borrow some money so I can put money behind this and blow it up on a bigger scale. So if you don't take calculated risk, you're pretty much gonna slowly just trotting along.
Yeah.
I think those are the big characteristics of like successful entrepreneurs.
What if you don't have what if you don't have those characteristics? Like, should you hire someone to have those characteristics to kind of help your business, help you as a whole, scale?
Anything that you're missing, like I said, this list isn't like an absolute list. Like anything that you feel like you're missing, you should hire someone to do that if you can afford to. Or if you can give them equity in the company, you should be able to do something to get, that skill on board. Because if you don't have it, then you're it's going to take you a while to learn it. And it really is about time, at least for me. Right. Time is the most important thing.
Yeah, I do not like to waste time. Yeah. Sometimes, man, I'm like, yo, I don't even want to do the podcast because I lose $80 when I do this podcast. Yeah. That's a lot of money to me.
Real life.
And but at the same time, we're giving people value. We're sharing our stories, so hopefully this helps people out.
Sure.
So yeah, man. To add to what you're saying, my side note, when I had the meeting with my client last week, he mentioned that he got tons of business from the marketing that I was doing.
That's what's up.
And he just put his trust in me to perform. He was taking calculated risks, man. This guy does good work, and let's see. And he pretty much was like, spend as much as you want. It's gonna make up. And every time I bring a client in the door, depending on what service is, they get $3,000 a client, $800 a client, depending on what services is. And yeah, man, he's just spending money, but he's making so much more money. I would love to do that, but I'm not there yet, man. I'm not there yet, man. He's just like, whatever. I put $200 on an ad, $300-$400, and I'm just like, man, I wish. You know what I'm saying? I don't got it like that. He balling out. He's balling out of control. He's a doctor.
That's good. Yeah, he's a doctor on his own practice.
Yeah, man. He has employees in the office and everybody and stuff. Shout outs to him. Probably doesn't listen to this podcast.
I don't think he listens to this podcast yet.
I don't think he does.
But he will.
He will, man. I can't wait for the people who go back and listen to these episodes when we're on episode 100.
Yeah.
That's going to be dope.
It's just going back to the beginning and discovering.
Yeah, man. It'll be like, man, we had a shitty mic.
We don't have a shitty mic. This is a professional mic.
I'm sorry. Relax.
This is a professional mic.
Okay, this is your mic.
Purchased.
Okay. I'm just saying the audio is not super HD. That's what I'm saying.
It's we're not on mic though.
We're not on Breakfast Club HD. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
True.
I didn't mean to dish your mic, man.
Yeah, you
said I hit a soft spot.
Yeah, I hit a soft spot.
I'm sorry,
It's a professional mic, man.
Okay. Well.
We don't have professional recording and exporting quality.
Yeah. I can't wait till we have two cameras and switch back and forth.
Oh, we have two cameras. We just don't use them.
Oh, that's right. We need someone to edit that. That's what.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that.
Me either.
Okay.
So that's why we have one camera.
Yeah, man. And in one audio wave. All right, so man, I guess that kind of wraps up this episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we kind of pretty much closed up the episode, and
yeah, we went in there.
We went in.
Yeah, man.
I got a topic for next week.
Next week, I had a couple topics for next week.
Okay, what are your topics?
I don't remember. I need to write stuff down.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah.
For next week, I was kind of thinking. I mean, we got these books sitting up here.
I read those books.
You read those books. I read the books too.
Yeah.
Or most of them.
Have you?
Most of them.
Okay.
I gotta see which ones are up here.
I don't believe you.
Nah, I'm not dead though.
Okay.
But yeah, so I would say which book that you read in business, that book or books that you read that really changed your life and changed your perspective.
Wow. Listen, you know what's crazy about that? every time I read a new book, it changes my life. Like for real, no bullshit. Like when I read a new book and I get like, because books really only has like a few nuggets in a book, and they just kind of like reiterate that through the entire book. Because no one's gonna buy a 10, 15 page book, right? Yeah. They'll buy a 220 page book. So it's just kind of like they're saying the same thing over and over and over, right?
Yeah.
Different stories or whatever, or they save it to the end or the middle. So actually, we'll talk about that. Because I read books really fast. I don't read word for word because I show you how to get those nuggets in half the time. But to go back to what you were saying, I almost lost my train of thought. Man, I've read so many good books I don't even know, but I think I got top 3. I have top 3. Can we do top 3?
Yeah, we can do top 3.
No. Let's just do one.
I mean, because we got at least 30 to 45 minutes, so I think it's gonna be hard to do just one.
Okay, let's do top 3, but then like
just focus on one.
What's your number one that really hit home?
Gotcha. So for me, I'm not gonna tell you the book now. I'll tell you the book next week. So you guys stay tuned for tell you about what book really changed my life.
Man, hold on. Don't be telling people next week.
Well, the next episode.
You never know what might happen next week.
Next episode. There will be another episode.
There will be. So we don't know if it's next week.
It might not be. But yeah, so I'll tell you about the book that really changed my life and changed my perspective.
Okay.
It was actually recommended by you.
By me?
It was recommended by you.
I did that?
You did that.
That's what's up.
But most of the stuff that I got was from business school. So they weren't necessarily books.
Okay.
They were more case studies on certain companies. So I can touch on the book that, changed my perspective. And then I can also touch on a bunch of like case studies that I read in business school that really geared and shaped the way I think about business. So you guys basically get, that's like a $20,000, $30,000 value, on just those couple classes that I had those case studies in.
Dang, that's crazy, man. Yeah. Man, look at the college dropout teaching the master guy, the business master guy. Look at that, man.
You can learn from anybody.
You can learn from anybody. That is actually one of my favorite quotes from Abraham Lincoln, paraphrasing. But you can learn from anybody, even what not to do.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
I learn a lot what not to do.
I love it, man.
And also, another thing that really stood out to me is I saw it on an article early this morning. Mm-hmm. There's no such thing as unskilled labor. And it kind of like, I was like, what? And it kind of registered. Because look at it like this, right? People think that if you're, a doctors, lawyers, CEOs, like that's skilled labor.
Okay.
If you work at like McDonald's or you're a truck driver,
okay, I got you.
Like that's considered unskilled labor.
That's not true.
But that's exactly what this article was talking about. If you take a regular, Fortune 500 CEO and you drop him off in the middle of like, the ocean on a deep sea fishing boat, is he going to survive? Is he going to know how to read the waves? Is he going to catch the, the right fish? Is he going to understand anything that's going on? No, it's not. He's not going to be able to do it.
Right.
And so you realize that there is skilled labor. It's just not the skills that you are thinking of. So it's good. It's a good way to think about it, to not look down on someone else for not understanding something. You can always learn something from someone else.
Right, man. And everybody has a skill. Yeah. That could be another episode, man. Finding out what are your strengths and playing to those strengths.
Yeah.
Because like I talk to a lot of people, man. And people are like, majority of the people that I talk to don't even know what they're doing with their lives. So like, I'm not good at anything. And it's probably not true. Probably have some skill that they don't even know that they, that they're really good at. They just, because when you're good at something, you just do it. You don't even know, you just do it.
You just don't assume there's value to it, but there is.
But there's someone out there who probably needs that skill or, whatever thing that you do, that talent or whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's another episode. Don't let me forget that, man. Because I'll be forgetting stuff.
Story. So yeah, so it seems like we have our next episode. We'll talk about what books changed our lives, and then I'll touch on the books as well as some business school case studies that I read.
Hey man, after this podcast episode, can you tell me the book?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys gotta wait till next week, though.
I gotta wait till next week.
Or next episode.
So tune in, as Trevor Noah would say. Tune in next week.
Tune in
to the next episode. Hey, if you guys like this episode, hit us up. Hit us up on social. Hit us up on Broke Entrepreneur Podcast, Instagram, Broke Entrepreneur Podcast, Facebook, or just hit us up on our personal Snapchat or Instagram page. Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely DM us the poll, based on my name. What do you think my name should be?
No, we should really do that poll for real.
Yeah, for real. And then
because we had a discussion before this episode start. Alton wanted to be called AC, and I don't think it's a good idea.
I think it's.
I don't think it's a good idea.
People already call me AC.
No one calls you that.
People call me AC.
They call you Alton.
When my album drops, it's gonna say AC on it.
That's probably not gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, man. It's coming.
Listen, man, like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs down if you don't like it, man. But at least tell us why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, thank you guys. Love you guys. And see you next time.
Cool.
Peace.